Hi everyone, welcome to the CA classroom. So thank you all for joining in for listening to the rank holder session. So I'll quickly introduce Brunal. He got CA All India Rank 8 in May 2019 attempt, and he had done his articleship with Deloitte Haskins and Deloitte Haskins Chennai, and now he's working with ITC Limited. So I'll quickly hand over the session to him, and he'll be taking it over from now. You can go ahead and Brunal, I think you have to unmute your mic. Hi guys, am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So I think Brunal's on screen. He's just fixing some issue, and he'll get started soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
is everyone able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Karthik, you're able to hear me, right?
yeah, Brunal. I think you can start and you can go.
Yeah. First of all, sorry everyone. I'm connecting it through my phone. This link is not working in my office laptop. They have restricted this link. So sorry for that. And nice to see all of you. First of all, a huge congratulations to Karthik for starting out this venture. I mean, very few people in Earth have the courage to start their own venture. I mean, so officially, Karthik is now an entrepreneur. The easiest thing to do in life is to take an employment in a job and type something in your laptop, just like what I'm doing. But it takes a lot of courage and bravery to start a class like this, particularly in a scenario where Chennai's CA education fraternity has completely changed over the past 2 months. It's mostly become a monopoly with the merger, and that's a pretty unfortunate scenario. And hats off to Karthik for starting out his own venture at this time. So I'd like to start off with that. And don't worry, I won't bore you guys for more than 3 to 5 minutes, and then I'll be open to any questions from any of you, like questions like what to do about your articleship, even after articleship, and uh, I mean, don't ask too difficult a question. So, and quickly to introduce myself again, I like Karthik told, I did my articleship in Deloitte Haskins and Sen. That is where I met Karthik basically. Karthik was an assistant manager where while the time I was doing my articles. And after clearing, I've joined in a company called ITC Limited. I am a business accountant in ITC Limited as assistant finance manager, looking after the staples category. The staples category basically includes atta, salt, and spices in whatever ITC produces. And talking about my classes, I did most of my 95% of my classes in MT Educare. MT Educare is now what is merged with KS, and they have become one. So I did most of my classes there. And what else? So that is basically about me. And coming to the point of the session, I'm not here to give any huge motivation to you guys or whatever, because motivation never comes from an external person. If someone speaks you and you are motivated, that is not real motivation. Motivation comes from within you. And motivation also doesn't come from a single speech. It takes some time. So, I mean, your sir and so many other people are there to better motivate you. I'm not going to motivate you to do something and all. Just 2 3 things that comes out of my mind. I'll just like to share it with you at this time. I think all of you are inter students, I believe. So, just like to share 2 3 broad things that I will say. I mean, basically for you guys not to miss out on these things. One thing is, please enjoy your life as much as possible during this IPCC and inter times. First of all, it's going to be a very difficult time for you people in considering the present scenario that you all have to attend online classes. I mean, whatever it is. So it's given for the rest 6 months or so that conducting live classes is going to be very difficult. So it is mostly going to be online for you. And the reason I'm saying online classes are difficult is it is going to be difficult for you people to socialize with each other. and that is one of the most important things that education offers you. It allows you to socialize with each other, and that is going to be a lot less in all these virtual classes and online classes. So and don't lose hope. Try to socialize as much as possible. Make a lot of friends during IPCC, because once your articleship time comes and your CA final exam times come, these are going to be really difficult. And so don't cut out on your any of your hobbies or whatever. Keep playing whatever you like. If you like playing any sport, keep doing it. If you like playing any instrument, keep doing it. Watch a lot of movies, have fun with your friends. Please do as much as possible in the next 6 months. And one more thing I just want to say on the top of my mind is see, chartered accountancy examination is an examination which involves a lot of hard work rather than smart work. I mean, me being a chartered accountant myself, I'm not ashamed to say this out. So it's going to involve a lot of hard work than smart work. But unfortunately, our education system in India and the fraternity around it believes it so. And in order for us to come up big in life, we can't do anything but clear this examination and get out. So I mean, you people might be the brainiest of the brains out there, so intelligent, so smart, but just try to do some bit of hard work during the CA times and just clear the crap out of it and get out to your next stage of life where you can use your brains like anything. Do whatever you feel like. You are the boss of you after clearing CA examinations. But till clearing CA examinations, it's in the court of the institute. So just try to do a bit of hard work than you used to do in your previous years, and you will be through it. CA examination is seriously not that difficult. Just with a bit of hard work and just listen to what the institute says, and you'll be through it easily. So don't worry about that too. And the third and the most important point that I wanted to share with you is, in life, if you want to become successful, 80% of it is to be owed to your soft skills and other skills. Your technical skills just help you at around 15 to 20% in your life. All these things, whatever you learn in CA or whatever, you're going to forget it after 2-3 years. Like I've completely forgotten about all my accounting standards, whatever tax. I mean, I forgot it after the day I wrote examination, my direct tax examination. So all these things you tend to forget, and whatever you're going to use in life to become successful is your common sense, is your soft skills and other things. So whatever happens in life, please do not lose your confidence. You are what your confidence is. So never lose your confidence. I mean, confidence comes from two things. One is from your DNA. Some people are confident by themselves. Like if you are put in front of a public, some people can speak randomly, like an extempore. But some people cannot get that. So try to practice, speak in front of your mirror. This is where most of the CA students lack. I mean, I attended an MBA like program after clearing my CA final examinations, and there were around 97, 98 people. Around 40, 50 people who got all India ranks were not even able to speak in front of a 80, 90 crowd public. And whatever marks you get, whatever rank you get in front of an interview, if you flop, it's all going to be done and dusted. So please hone your soft skills, be as confident as you can, be as unique as you can. Don't try to change your style too much, because if you do that, you're not what you are. So just remember these three things. Enjoy your life till IPC gets over. Always be confident in whatever you're doing. And CA exam is all about hard work and very little about smart work. And that's probably it from my side. Any questions, any specific questions, you can shoot out to me. English or Tamil, whatever would do. Don't ask me in Hindi. I don't know Hindi properly or any other language properly. So yeah, over to you, Karthik, and other people. The mic is on you.
Yeah, so guys, thank you, Brunal, for sharing your thoughts. So students, I think you guys it's open for you guys to ask any questions. You can type out your questions, or you can unmute and shoot your questions right now.
I'd suggest you to unmute and shoot it out. We can have. I mean, always a convo is better than a monologue. So come on, shoot out whatever questions you have. I'll try to answer as much as I know. Someone saved me from the embarrassment and ask one question.
Yeah, any student can go ahead. Any question you have, like regarding preparation or articleship. We'll just give another 15 seconds for that.
Sir, I would like to ask a question.
Yeah, please.
Sir, I wanted to know how do you go about the articleship, sir? How did you get into Deloitte and how do you go about that?
Yeah, so all the big fours, right? So what happens is after you either after you clear your examination or before, they will release a set of dates where you can go for interviews. So basically, interviews will be of in articleship. It will be of 3 rounds. One will be a group discussion, and other one will be a HR round, and the last one will be a technical round. And fourth round, of course, there will be a partner round, but that's more of a formality. So what happened was when I cleared my examination, see, I gave my interviews in I think all the big fours. Yeah, I think I gave it in all the big four. I gave in EY first. EY didn't even call me back after I gave the interview. Then I went to KPMG. I think some 2-3 days before Deloitte or 2-3 days after Deloitte. Not sure. So KPMG also didn't call me back. So PwC gave me a chance in internal audit, and I was not too sure if I have to go to internal audit because you learn more about business and statutory audit than in internal audit. So I was waiting for Deloitte, and then finally Deloitte gave me a call saying that you've been selected after going through all these process. And Deloitte's interview was pretty straightforward and was not so difficult, to be honest. So that is probably one thing why I could crack it. And then I think they gave me a call. So to answer your question, I pretty much had no other choice because I got calls for statutory audit only from Deloitte. So and I was dying to join a Big Four. And so I joined Deloitte Haskins and Sales. And it's not been a bad journey. I think I enjoyed Deloitte a lot for 2.5 years, for a good part of 2.5 years, to put it in that way. And yes, again, I mean, to be specific more about your question is, once you clear your examination, you can get HR contacts from any of the people who are currently in Big Four. You can send out your resume to the HR and they'll definitely call you. So any person who's cleared their examination first attempt in both groups, they'll definitely give a call. So if you send out your resume to Big Fours will definitely give you a call. So need not worry about that.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, super. All the best.
Thank you.
So we have another question from Ujjwal Bakaria.
Okay, is ISM that one? That
Yeah,
one.
yeah, that one. Yeah.
Is ISM and RTP enough for practical subject, or should we even do PM for practical subjects? Okay, see, I mean, any teacher would be a better answer for this, but I'll try to give my perspective into this. For example, practical subjects, if I take I think you guys still have 8 subjects, right? Even in inter, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
8,
they have
7.
8 subjects.
Ah,
8.
correct. 8 subjects, correct. So practical subjects, I think you mean FR, financial management, costing, and maybe tax to some extent. I'll give my view on costing and SM. I mean, I love costing as a subject by itself. I'm not so great in accounts, taxes, and all these law interpreting subjects. Audit. I'm pretty poor in audit also. So I'll give my perspective on costing and SFM. For inter, I think try to do practice manual also. Even if you don't do ISM, that is fine. But for practical subjects, definitely do RTP and practice manual. One thing is, one basic thing is you'll be amazed by some sums that they give in practice manual. I mean, there is always a tag to say that institute books are not great. I mean, not saying it is so great also, but for example, in certain cases, I've seen some costing sums in my intermediate and final examinations which have totally amazed me. Like, I would be halfway through the sum, I won't even be knowing how to go through. When I finally see the answer, it totally amazes me. Like, how can someone think of this sum at all? How could someone even possibly answer that this is the first time? So practice manual, I mean, I advise you to do it. I mean, maybe from examination point of view, I mean, it might not be required that much, but at least for your knowledge perspective or you to enjoy the subject as by itself, I think try doing practice manual. There are lots of good sums, especially in costing and SFM. And if I'm not wrong, most of the questions in your examination also come from there only. So around out of 100%, around 60% will come from your ISM, RTP, practice manual only. So why not do that? Try to do that also. You'll One thing is you'll understand about it. And okay, so that's out. I'm getting some more question.
Yeah, so this is a famous question. So Rajeshwari has finally asked it out. Is it good to
Rajeshwari,
join?
okay. Is it good to join articles in Midform or Big Fours? Okay. See, again, there's no hard and fast rule answer to it. I'll give my perspective. As already I told, I was dying to join a Big Four. Don't ask me why. I mean, just for the தமிழ்ல பந்தா அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க, மேபி அந்த பந்தாக்காக கூட இருக்கலாம். So I just wanted to join a Big Four and show that okay, I'm also a Big Four article. I'm also a Big Four article. Maybe that might be a reason. If you ask me a hard and fast answer, there's no hard and fast answer, but I can tell you some pros and cons of both. See, ultimately the audit that you are going to do is the same. The partner is going to sign the audit report. We as articles are going to help them in signing the audit report. That's all. So whatever work you are doing, the final ultimate work, your analysis or vouching or whatever is going to be the same. Only thing is, I mean, it will happen in a polished manner in Big Four. So everyone will be giving new names in Big Four. The infrastructure will be brilliant, and there will be a lot of I mean, it's knowledge sharing sessions that happen in Big Four. You'll understand a lot. And one more thing I could tell is you'll do bigger clients in Big Four than what you do in midforms. Not saying that midforms have, I mean, useless clients or whatever. Obviously, if for example I audited a client called L&T in my time. I think I audited L&T for 1 quarter and entire year fully, a division of L&T. So I mean, auditing L&T gave me so much of confidence to face the outside world. Like, I mean, what to say? So I was able to speak to the CFO of a division at some point of time. The way they speak, it's, I mean, you get goosebumps, right? If you speak to some big guy, oh, I'm able to speak to this guy. Oh, finally. I mean, so if you consider that, you will always be able to do big audits, big clients, and you'll get a sense of perspective into your life, and you'll start liking it. But again, the flip side of joining a Big Four is it's going to be tough. You won't get things easily. So if you want to go for all 8 subjects of classes in your final and do a brilliant work in Big Four, it's not possible. You got to miss some of your classes. And one more flip side of Big Four is you can't learn everything that a financial accountant needs to know. For example, you may never know how to file a tax return. Till date, I don't know how to file my personal tax return. Till date, I don't know how to file a GST return, or I mean, how to do an internal audit properly. I've done only statutory audit in my life, and now I'm into industry. So sorry. So I mean, I don't know all these things, but I mean, again, my side of argument is these things are not so difficult and can be self-learned also. You go and type in Google how to do how to file your return yourself. You can get things and you can understand, comprehend, and do it yourself. You don't need to go to an articleship firm, file returns for 6 months, and then say, hey, I've learned to file a return. Doesn't need to be that way. So I mean, my suggestion is go for a Big Four. I mean, as I told you, important things in life are soft skill, confidence, and those things, and not your technical knowledge. And so the infrastructure and the capability of you to improve your soft skills and hone your soft skills will be a lot more in a Big Four than in a midform. So I mean, go for Big Four, but obviously if you have your apprehensions and if you don't, I mean, if you feel midform is good, midform is again obviously great. Only thing is, as I told you, the added element of banda won't be there in your profile. Nothing else.
Thank you, Brunal. Let's see if we have any other question.
Yeah, I have one question from Niveda Shankar. What is that?
How many hours to study before exams?
To study before.
So we just say, like, people want to know how many hours to study to get a rank or to score. So since your rank, you can
see again. See, you might have heard about some rank holders who are rank holders in CPT, IPCC, all, I mean, final and those things. Yeah, I mean, I was a rank holder by, I mean, what to say, by a bit of luck, a bit of chance, and everything came together well for me to get a rank. So basically, to be honest, my exams were pretty simple. If you ask anyone shout out to anyone. May 19, 2019 new syllabus exams were the easiest exam in CA history. Seriously, it was so easy. The pass percentage also, as you know, was so high. And what to say, like everything came together well. We had a good 5.5 months, because I think the elections came and our exams got postponed about 20 days later. So everything fell in place, and that was, I think, the second attempt or third attempt of new syllabus. So new syllabus, the CA Institute had kept it pretty simple, and the old was a bit tough. And probably I just feel that I learned things correctly. Like whatever CA exam would ask, I just learned it and got through it. If you act to exactly put in some number for how many hours to study before an exam, there's nothing like that. Please ensure that you get proper sleep, at least 6 to 7 hours of sleep every day before you're like 2 months. I mean, I think for inter you might get around a month or 2 months of exam leave. If I'm not, I got, I think, 2 months of exam leave for inter, 1.5 months. So get some proper sleep for during your exam leave, and make sure you keep revising the subjects quickly. So don't leave a subject blank for like 15-20 days. You might lose sight of it. So, for example, if you have done the first revision of SFM, I mean, first revision in the sense first time reading of SFM now, don't leave 20 days later to start it again. Just keep revising it, revising a little bit, write some formulas at the back of your notebook, just keep seeing it, something like that. Keep in touch with it. As I told you, like CA examination is not all about brains. It's mostly see and vomit in most of the cases, to be honest. So, keep in touch with your subjects, and that will prove rewarding for you. No need to worry about anything else. Any suggestion in Big Four? Will they see number of attempts for interview? Not really. See, I know people who have done articleship in Big Four in their second attempt, third attempts also, who have done articleship with me. So they don't do that. But the only problem is if you have cleared only one group, and you haven't cleared your other group by the time you apply for articleship, that might not be a favorable point while joining a Big Four, because you need to get leave for yourself to study for the second attempt, and Big Four is all obviously against it. So if you have cleared only one group, so then it will be difficult for you to join a Big Four. But second attempt or third attempt shouldn't matter really. It was like that in my era, but considering the economic situation currently, and I mean, what to say? I mean, the higher there's a freezing. I mean, hiring is freeze a lot in most of the organizations. So they might obviously pick a lesser number of articles to join with them. So they might be a bit picky. But as far as I know, in all the Big Fours, your attempt will not be considered as a major hurdle. So even if you apply second attempt, third attempt, you can apply for articleship. Shouldn't be a matter. Any suggestion on how to revise theory subjects like EIS?
EIS is ITS. ISCA.
EIS is IT. Okay, see, IT. Okay, so ITSM, I'll tell my story, funny story. So I wrote my IPCC in 2016 May, if I'm not wrong. So 2016 May was when we had our Tamil Nadu elections. So my last examination alone, which was IT and SM, got postponed. I mean, it got postponed, and there was 7 days leave for me to study that. So what I did was I didn't study ITSM at all in my 1.5 months of examination, and entirely those 7 days I completely mugged up and vomited completely. Without shame, I'm announcing it. Completely mugged up. I don't even remember what a circuit is, what cloud is, what computing, some nonsense they'll say. I have no idea what it is. Even I went for class for ITSM also. ITSM, there was maybe some 40 hours of class that some guy came and took on information technology in MTIDCare. I had no idea what it was. What I did was I just, I mean, simple thing is, see, if you like ITSM, don't follow my rule. I'm pretty poor with computer in the world of technology. I'm a pretty oldie in the world of technology. So I have very little idea about computers, very little idea about macros, all whatever you call in this technological field. I have very little idea. So I had no other choice other than to mug up, because I had to clear CA. I had to clear IPCC. So what I did was I took the book. So I'll read one page. I'll write the main side headings of it. Those side headings using acronyms, I'll remember something. And I mean, some nonsense I used to do for those 6 to 7 days, and somehow I passed it. It was a miracle how I passed it. So again, if you like ITSM, please, I mean, go for some class. I think there's a, I mean, not sure. I think Deepak Pandian, there is a class. I mean, I've heard he takes really well. Maybe Karthik Manikonda might expertise in ITSM soon, and he also might take the class himself. So God knows. And if you're really interested, go for class. Or if you really just want to sulk it and okay, come on, man, chuck it. I just want to pass this attempt. Just mug it up and clear ITSM. There is no wrong in mugging up and clearing a subject like ITSM, a crappy subject like ITSM. You can do whatever you want. Just, I mean, for example, if you want to improve scoring marks, like try writing down important points in headings of ITSM. If you write the headings, you will get marks, guaranteed. So that's the way I went about ITSM. For any other subject, like, I mean, law or audit, I mean, law and audit, put some effort into it. They are important subject. Law is a very important subject. If you start liking law, you may even expertise in it, and it's not an easy subject to catch also, law. So spend some time on your classes, ask a lot of questions while your sir is teaching in especially in law. That's how you develop law. Because even, for example, I'm pretty poor at law. I'm pretty poor at any subject which gives a bare act and you have to comprehend it. So I'm not so great at it. So I mean, I put a lot of effort for clearing law, audit, and those kinds of things. I tried asking a lot of questions to my teachers. How will it happen if this happens? How should this be interpreted? And companies law is only becoming increasingly complex, because in the erstwhile companies law 1956, if I'm not wrong, so amendments used to come very rarely. But in the Companies Act 2013, amendments are so fast, they come in a jiffy. In the dynamic environment there, I mean, so many amendments are coming, like I mean, probably the government is also up to it, happy to say that. So put in some effort for law, audit, and all. Go for classes, and what is it? I mean, try to see some case laws if you like it too much. So do put in some effort for theory subjects like law and audit, but for ITSM, just smug it up and chuck it here. Don't give too much importance to ITSM.
Okay, so I think we are almost towards the end of the session. So just one last question, we'll take it up and
Yeah, sure. How many hours you studied in a day during your exam preparation? Okay. Okay, fine. I think I studied at around maybe I slept for 8 hours in a day. So then for eating, take some 2 hours, 3. So 2 hours at least. Then I did take bath every day. And what else? So I mean, during my examination, IPL was also there. I like IPL a lot. And to be honest, during my examination, 2019 World Cup started. So I did see a bit of World Cup also. And lots of UCL final matches were also going on. So I remember before my law exam, Liverpool and Tottenham were playing their finals. So I think I saw around like 20-30 minutes of that and slept. I think it was a day before law exam or 2 days before law exam, not sure. So see, I mean, there's no hard and fast rule again to say. I get a nice question. How many yes or other? I'll answer Rajeshwari's question and then go to that. So I studied, I think, around 10 hours a day, effectively, maybe 9 to 10 hours a day. And obviously, the day before examination, it's obviously burning the midnight oil. So that is obviously a given. But 10 hours a day is more than enough for you to do a pretty decent job. Don't worry that you need to struggle a lot to clear CA examination. It's not so difficult. Believe me, it's not so difficult. Have a little bit of passion, have a little bit of interest, and I mean, what to say? I mean, ICAI will do what it wants, so nothing can be done for that. I mean, be in constant touch with books. That is the biggest mantra. Don't lose track of anything. Be in constant touch with books, and I think you will be able to do a wonderful job and pass with flying colors. Don't worry too much about marks or those things right now. I'll answer Yamini S's question. Are you doing higher studies now? What is the benefit of doing MBA after CA? Brilliant question. I mean, might be too early for you guys to think about these things, MBA after CA, those things and all. I mean, you can start giving importance to these after just before your ICA examinations or after clearing. But anyway, I'll answer. So, I mean, currently I'm working in ITC as you told. So currently, as of now, I am not doing any higher studies. I joined ITC like only, I think, November mid. So 6 months, 7 months are done since I joined ITC. I may do higher studies maybe after a year or two, maybe MBA, mostly MBA or something else in that field, something else related to business, not related to CMA, CS, CA, CFA, not those things and all. What is the benefit of doing MBA after CA is, see, MBA and CA are entirely two different approaches to life. So while CA is largely a bookish approach, MBA gives a holistic and generalistic idea about anything, any problem. If you ask a chartered accountant, you give him a problem and ask him a solution, he'll start taking his pen, write down whatever problems were there in a solution, put some equations into it, a plus b, this plus this, whatever is this. He'll do some mathematics out of it and try to find an answer. He will never try to identify what is the root problem of that. I mean, again, I'm saying this in spite of being a chartered accountant because this is the reality. Chartered accountants are taught very, very, very less business. And again, you cannot teach business to a guy. Business is basically common sense and being opportunistic in life. So considering that, an MBA, how he would approach a problem is he will try to identify the root of a problem. He won't give any mathematical solution to you. He won't give 8 plus 2 is equal to 10. If I divide that by that, I can get this much. If I do this PVR ratio, I'll get this much. He won't give you a mathematical or an accurate solution. And in business, you never need an accurate solution. You just need a quick solution. Business always picks guys who give answers in 8 minutes rather than 10 minutes. The person who gives answer in 10 minutes might be an accurate one, but the difference of 2 minutes, the 8 minutes and 10 minutes, that is what business is about, being opportunistic in life. So MBA always gives answer in 8 minutes rather than 10 minutes. He'll give you an overall approach. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I think this is the problem. I've identified the problem. Okay, this is what I will do. I will do it quickly. You have a solution in front of your hand. And decision-making capabilities are far, far higher in an MBA than chartered accountant. MBAs will talk beautifully first. MBA, I've seen a lot of MBAs giving speeches. To be honest, sometimes I feel jealous of them also. So, when they speak in front of an audience, when the audience sees them, every one of them listening to an MBA speak, and very few people listen to a chartered accountant speak in front of a crowd. Those things are real. They are not joke. They don't come by a day. MBAs do a lot of practice. They do a lot of speeches in front of crowd. They spend hours and hours in front of mirror practicing how to speak. How to get confidence, how to get your body posture right, how to see a person, how to shake hands with a person. There are so many things. So as I told you, MBA and CA are two different approaches to life. And if you mix both of them, you have the technical capabilities of a chartered accountant and the generalistic view of an MBA. Nothing could get better than this. There are huge amount of opportunities in life that comes for a person who has done MBA after clearing a CA. I like to do a PGDOR. What is PGDOR? Sorry?
I'm not sure about it. So, Jana, if you can just explain what is PGDOR. And before that, there's one last question.
Yeah.
Any suggestions on paper presentation?
Paper presentation, what does it exactly mean? Ujjwal, paper presentation in the sense, like exactly what do you mean? Like how to give a paper to ICAI, something like that, or?
Exam presentation.
Oh, exams. sorry. Extremely sorry. Okay. So, see, again, for inter students, it is very difficult because you guys have had, very little experience in practical world. So, for a final student, it becomes a lot easier. But for an inter students, it's a bit difficult, but you can try to grasp it by practice. So, one simple thing every teacher tells is, please attempt the question that you know first. So, you've impressed the examiner saying, okay, hey guy, I know this question really well. Please believe me, I know this subject also really well. Start giving full marks for me for this question and please start correcting the other things quickly. Make him believe that even though you made some mistakes, okay, I have done this question also correctly only. So, please start with the question that you know really well in the first. And in other tips for paper presentation is write in points. So sorry, okay, so write a lot of sentences, for example, law and audit in points. Write 1, 2, 3, 4 rather than writing it in a paragraph. And law, there are like law, there is a pattern in which you write answers, right? First you write the bare act, then you write the analysis of the question, then you write the final summary of the answer, something like that is there. Karthik might be in a better position to tell how to present an answer for law audit. For act related questions, you should quote the case law. And again, it's very difficult for IPCC people to do all those things, but just try doing it. And other simple things like don't cut a lot in your examination. If you just cut the entire answer, start again. And what else? Stick to one pen. I've seen people carry like 5-6 pens for an examination, 5 different colors of pens, 3 different sets of pencil, 6, 7, 8 different erasers, sharpeners. Don't do all those things. So don't have so much OCD towards all those things. Take 1 or 2 pens, write all in single color. If you want to highlight any point, just underline it. Don't write in blue pen, black pen, red pen, green pen. Don't try. These things will impress examiner. These things and all these are auxiliary things. So don't do all these things. Write in one pen legibly, the simple handwriting, and or write in simple English. Don't write in very difficult English that people might not understand. Whoever is correcting your paper are not Shakespeare's. They are just simple people like us. So write in simple English. And then any other tips for paper presentation? That's it. That's it from me. I think practical subjects, everyone will be able to give their best in terms of paper presentation. Theory, it's a bit difficult. It takes some time. Try to write and see an answer. If you find a question is difficult for you to answer, if you feel that, try to write it in a simple piece of paper sometime during a revision and see, okay, and then read it to yourself. Does this look good? How much will an examiner give much for me? Something like that. And yeah, that's it, man. Okay, I like to do PG diploma in operation research. Jana, I seriously don't know what is PG diploma in operating research. Really sorry for that. I'll maybe check it back and get back to you. I have very little idea, or if you have idea, please let me know also. Right now you're in 3rd year of articleship. Can I do after articleship or after CA? So if it's any course, right now, because you're doing an articleship, concentrate on articleship and CA and then do PGDOR. But I'll seriously learn what is PGDOR and come back to you after that. Okay, any suggestions is over. As you said, motivation not comes from others, it comes from yourself. Yes, it's right. How you motivate yourself. Okay, thank you. That's okay, good. You studied in study material or studied in other author books for theory subject? IPCC, I went to a class called MT Edicare, as I told you. I studied in whatever books they gave only. Mostly, I didn't do a lot of study material or practice manual. Practice manual I did, yeah. Theory subjects, practice manual I did. Study material I didn't see. But for final examination, what happened? Again, theory subjects, whatever material ISM, institute gives is very difficult to comprehend. There will be a huge 8-9 line paragraph. After reading, you won't even understand what was it related to. So reading theory subjects can get a bit difficult when you do it from ISM. So in case if you are going to any class and if they, if for theory subjects or whatever, they are going to provide you a material, please try to understand the basic concept and then do a mapping between your material and study material. If there is anything extra in your study material, just try to cover that. But theory subjects, for example, law, audit and all, I largely relied upon the author's book only and not ISM. It can prove a bit risky. If you are able to comprehend a 10-line paragraph and read it by yourself, please go for it. But if you want to understand in simple text or whatever, stick to your author's book and just for reference to mapping, if everything is covered in your author's book, cover your ISM. That should be good enough. How did you balance work and study? I largely studied in only those 5.5 months of leave I got. I went to classes and all. Classes also, I missed some 30-40% in each and every class. But I couldn't do any study, obviously, while I was doing my articleship. But those 5.5 months, I didn't get any disturbance from my articleship, whatever. In my exam leave, I was able to study whatever I could. It's a difficult thing balancing your work and study. I mean, that's another flip side of Big Four. Maybe if you're joining in a mid firm, I mean, you'll have some leisure time. That's obviously there. Big Four, it's going to be a bit tight on your screws. So balancing, I would say one thing: never ever compromise your work for study. So practical application is very important in life, and try to get as much interest as you while doing audit or whatever field you're going to go into during articleship. So never compromise work too much for study. I mean, you will obviously get 4 or 5 months of holiday for your examination, and that is way more than enough for clearing your exams. Just ensure that you get all your Xerox copies of books, whatever you want to get from people, notes and everything before you start your exam week, and you should be good for that. Never ever compromise your work. Work again is very important. Practical learning and all those skills are very essential. That's what is going to stay throughout your life. Not section 41 of Income Tax Act. I don't even know what section 41 is. Okay, I remember some section in income tax. What section can I say? Some 94 section. Okay, section 94 is TDS, right? So okay, I think it's TDS. Okay, you won't remember what is 94 subsection 1, 2, 3 after a while. So, but the audit that you have done, for example, a certificate that you have signed, an income tax return that you have filed for the first time, will always be there in your memory. So never ever compromise your work for study.
Yeah, so I think that's it. We are done with the questions.
That's it. Beautiful. You want me to ask any questions, Karthik? Go on.
No.
Hit me.
No, I think there's one question you missed. Perumal asked, how do you motivate yourself?
How do you, where?
3:39.
Oh, how do you motivate yourself? You're asking. Oh, that was a question you asked me. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. How do you motivate myself? தெரியலையப்பா இப்படிலாம் கேட்டா நான் என்ன சொல்லுவேன். Okay, how do you motivate myself? I mean, I speak a lot to myself. Basically, I see my mirror and speak a lot. So I'm also a normal human being who gets affected by jealousy, all these things. So obviously, if someone is doing better than me in my office or someone is doing better than me in my work, I'll get adachai. Even I can do something better. So I mean, all these small things help you motivate yourself. See, I mean, if you're pretty sure in your dream, like I want to do something in finance, so that's why I've chose to become a chartered accountant. I mean, I want to do something great that involves money. Finance is all about money. So if your dream is right, I think you will always be motivated by some small thing or the other. So I mean, I don't really have a cutthroat answer for your how do you motivate yourself, but that's all I can give from my side.
Okay, thank you all students, and thank you Mrinal for your time. And
Thanks a lot, Karthik. And once again, congratulations and all the best for your venture, and all the best, every one of you guys. Keep enjoying yourself. Do not lose your hobbies, and enjoy your classes. Try to socialize with your friends as much as possible. For the rest of the 5-6 months, for granted, at least in Chennai, it's going to be all virtual classes. I mean, you going to physically meet a teacher and interact with your friends in person is going to be very difficult. So try to make most of the opportunities that people are giving, and all the very best. In case if you have any other doubt that you were not able to ask in this forum and you want me to ask separately, get my number from Karthik, or I'll share my number chat. You can always ask me. I'll be happy to answer, unless and until it's a very hard question. Shouldn't be a problem. So again, guys, enjoy yourself. And sorry that I troubled you on a Sunday evening. So enjoy yourself. Make some nice food. Get some nice food from your parents. Eat. Watch some nice movie. And have a good Sunday night. And gear up for tomorrow's class. All the very best, guys. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you Mrinal. Thank you all the students. Have a good day. Stay safe. Thank you.